Hi, it's Strapson here, and welcome back to our adventures in Azeroth. Last episode, we brought Gormul an amulet to raise his spirits, but it did not make him very happy, and he threw it to the ground. And today, we are going to try to raise his spirits again by showing him the power of the shamans. We're going to do that by slaying some more raptors. Doing a quest called Guile of the Raptor. Acquire 12 raptor hearts from Highland Fleshstalkers for Torgon. Some additional objects. I will be able to create an item that will imbue Gormul with the Guile of the Raptor. With the power of the Raptor flowing through him, Gormul will know our new power and rediscover the warrior that lies dormant. I will require Raptor Hearts to fashion the item and spell. Alright, so that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to slay some more Raptors. Hopefully this makes Gormul happy. And he becomes a powerful warrior for the Horde. I had a pretty fun episode last episode. Well, I mean, on my shaman. We're in the same zone. It's kind of cool that we're kind of leveling side by side, the shaman and the paladin. And I got to fight against 3 Horde. Had a crazy battle against a rogue, a warlock, and I believe a mage. And I shot down the mage with my lightning bolts. A warrior came in and helped me as well. Another Draenei warrior. And I slayed the rogue. The warlock took down the warrior, and then me and the warlock had a 1v1 at the end. And I was able to defeat him after having to reincarnate. But yeah, guys, I really miss the old Fairlina, like the server that I'm on right now in the Paladin. It's too bad, but everybody left, guys. It seems like all the Alliance left. It sucks. It's too bad. Just looking forward to getting into like some world PvP fights on Travenin, and we got in a couple, but majority of them left, and they went to a server by the name of Benediction, which is the high pop classic WoW Alliance server. And now Fairlina has turned into pretty much the Horde server to be on if you're interested in raiding and all that stuff. Fairlina is still a great server for raiding, but if you're looking for faction balance, it's terrible. It's kind of a shame. Because these Let's Plays I really like to... I like world PvP, man. I think it just adds more fun to the leveling experience. It's too bad that Fairlina has turned into that kind of a server, but it is what it is. At least we can still do BGs. We're going to be able to do a BG soon at level 39. And another good thing about this server is it's not very hard for us to find dungeon groups. I find it actually much harder to find dungeon groups on my shaman on Grobulus. That has actually a pretty damn good server balance between Horde and Alliance, but I have trouble finding dungeons. But on this server, it's pretty damn easy because there's just so many Horde leveling. I can find dungeon groups. So there's the ups and downs to it. Looks like this guy's like stealing health from me. Stun him here, drop a hammer on his head. It's nice that we found a quest that's around our level. See that? These guys, like, they steal health from you. It's kind of interesting. Alright, let's have a drink. Yeah, I'm trying to farm shadow resist gear on my rogue currently. For Lady Shiraz, I believe the boss is called, in Black Temple. Supposedly you need around like 175 shadow resistance to be able to survive some of her like shadow abilities. Haven't really looked into the fight too much, but been recommended to farm shadow resist, so I've been looking around for that. It's one thing about Classic that you don't really see in retail is there's a lot of fights that require resistances. Like Frost Resist, Shadow Resist, Nature Resist. fire resist in Blackwing Lair. I farmed like pretty much all the resistances so far. Need a lot of frost resist for Naxxramas. Nature resist for AQ40. And I think probably after TBC, that's probably when you probably stop seeing all of the resist requirements. That's my guess. I don't really remember there being like a resistance requirement for a boss in Wrath. Pretty sure. Because it sure doesn't happen in retail anymore. Like, that was honestly like the first time I ever had to deal with like resistances was actually in Molten Core. When you fight Ragnaros, as a main tank, you need to have fire resistance or you just won't survive. Kind of like that about Classic WoW. It's a different style. You're popping like shadow resist pots or fire resist pots during the fight to keep your resistance high. The drop rate on this quest is really damn good. It's like almost 100%. But yeah, I wonder if we'll see some alliance along the way. Last time we seen one was in Stranglethorn Vale. It's actually a Draenei. Be good to go back there just to see if there is any alliance. Probably go back there when we get a little closer to level 40. Maybe after the BG. Watch out for this buzzard. I think these guys are docile though. Pretty sure. Oh, that was big damage right there. Yeah, once we get to level 39, we will be able to equip this new mace. I'm looking forward to that. We're probably going to have to level it up before we do the BG, though. We're going to have to level its skill up so we can actually hit people. This buzzard's just flying around watching us slay raptors. He's loving it. He's going to be able to eat a lot tonight. Feeding on raptors. And the cool thing about this raid, too, is they're bringing back Warlock tanking for Black Temple. Warlocks actually tank Illidan. I think that's pretty awesome. Last time I remember we did Warlock tanking was the Twin Emperors fight in AQ40. You have Twin Emperors is a boss fight where you have two like giants on one side of the room. On two sides of the world. There's one on one side and one on the other side. And they like teleport swap. And it's like a big threat drop when they do that. So what you want to happen is when they do the threat drop, you need to have your like warlocks prepared on a warlock prepared on each side to pick up the boss, and you need everybody just to slow down on DPS. And vice versa, like say for physical DPS, like when the physical damage Twin Emperor swaps, you want the tank to get a couple of hits in before the melee DPS start doing damage. As the tank gets better gear though, like the melee DPS really doesn't have to worry too much about that. But the Warlocks really need a little bit of a break to pick them up. And we actually had a Warlock in our guild who actually tanked both, like did both sides, so she would, it's pretty amazing, actually. So what happened was we had two Warlock tanks on each side for Twin Emperors, and one of our Warlocks died, and we couldn't res them. And what we had to do was we had to have that one warlock run back and forth from each side. So she would be tanking tanking the boss, like the shadow, pretty much like the caster Twin Emperor, and eventually he would swap and she would have to run to the other side and tank him, and she did it like really well, and we killed the boss. Pretty epic mo. I don't know, I thought it was awesome. That's actually because it's tough to do that because she's getting hit by these huge shadow bolts, so the healer's got to keep her up, and then the ranged DPS need to be aware that, you know, the cast, like, of their threat, so like they don't get ahead of her, so they pull off of her and they die, you know. I really like Twin Emperors. It was a cool fight. It was actually one of the bosses that people got kind of stuck on in DQ40. And yeah, Warlocks needed to stack Shadow Resist for that. They needed a Shadow Resist set. And I'm pretty sure the Warlocks for Black Temple need a Shadow Resist set as well. Yeah, that Warlock's name that did that, her name was Teacup. She's pretty good Warlock. But yeah, I kind of miss the good old classic 40-man raids. 25-man's much better, though, I must admit. It's much better to do 25-man raids. It's a lot easier to manage, for sure, and people always, you know, sometimes can't make it, so it's nice to have, like, a bench. And it's hard to have a bench when you have 40 people. It means you gotta have, like, a 45-man roster for that. Alright, so there we go. We got our hearts. So let's go back. And you'll turn this quest in. We'll see if we can cheer up Gormul. Yeah. Really looking forward to Black Temple. I hope we do well. Mount Hyjal is supposedly going to be a lot of fun too. Get to fight Archimonde. Last time I fought Archimonde was in Hellfire Citadel, which is the last raid in Warlords of Draenor. That was a pretty cool fight. The funny thing is about these guys, like Archimonde and Kil'jaeden, they never die. They just get sent to like some prison for a bit, and then they come back. I love how Blizzard does that with like villains. Like no one ever dies. It's just they get sent somewhere else. And you can also go back in time and see them as well. They're just in another dimension. It's kind of a smart thing to do, because then you can always just bring back old villains. Well, these guys, yeah, these guys are cool with us. It's kind of weird that they're working with there's Quay and Canellery. Down in here, there's actually an apothecary. So it's Apothecary Jarrell, and he's working on like a plague. I kind of find it interesting that we don't have a quest with him as a horde. You know what I mean? Just to see what he's up to. But yeah, there's an alliance quest where you have to group up with these two up here, Quay and Canellery, and you slay Apothecary Jarrell because he's making a plague to, you know, hurt the alliance and all of the humans of Hillsbrad. They're already going through a rough time, right? They're dealing with the Scourge for quite some time, and now they have to deal with the undead. It's kind of weird that the apothecaries are attacking the horde. I mean, the alliance, because it seems like, you know, Sylvanas is trying to work with the Blood Elves to fight against the Scourge, which helps the alliance. But she's also fighting the alliance at the same time. It's very confusing. The undead are very confusing. That's all I gotta say. I don't know why they're fighting both at the same time. I think they're only fighting the Scourge, really, just to appease the Blood Elves so they can have a new ally on their side. And I think Sylvanas used to be a High Elf as well, so maybe there's a little connection there with her and the Blood Elves. Alright, so let's have a chat here with Torgen. Guile the Raptor. My preparations are made. All I require are the Raptor hearts. Yes, these will work perfectly. I will transfer their power and the spirit of the Raptors into this orb. This orb will imbue Gormul with the fiery strength and intelligence of the Raptor. Take this orb and use its energy to give Gormul the essence of the Raptor. Surely this will invigorate his spirit and give him new purpose in life. With him returned to normal, we can explain to him the current state of the Horde, and we will have a great warrior's assistance in our unceasing battles. I don't know, let's see if we can convince Gormul here to stop acting the way he is. We got all these cages here, but there's nobody inside them. Returned again, have you? Indeed, there is nothing more I could wish for now than more of Torgen's pity. What have you for me this time? Perhaps a piece of a brightly colored string, or a length of rope to end this misery of mine? Torgen's orb. At least it is something interesting you bring to me this time, a strange power it emits. Oh, wow, look at the size of Gormul now.
Blood and thunder.
What is this power that flows through me? Is this the power of shamanism that Torgen spoke of? Amazing. I feel renewed. My strength returns. Oh, look at him. He's flexing now. Gained his confidence back. This power. Is this the power of the shamans that Torgen tried to show me? I must say, it is interesting. Tell Torgen that he has convinced me. For the time being, I will listen to what he has to say. It's funny because this power didn't seem to last too long. He was like a giant for a second, and now he's like... he shrunk. Maybe they're making him like a shaman power addict. Kind of like the Blood Elves, you know? How they're addicted to mana.
Relax.
When the enchantment wears off, I will speak to Gormul. My thanks to you for your help in returning Gormul to the land of the living. I have no doubt he thanks you greatly as well. Alright, so it looks like we have to collect Bloodstone amulets now. I have felt a strangeness in the air, a feeling that simmers in my blood. I had my suspicions. I set off to find the source of my unease and discovered to the west at Northwold Manor a residual traces of a demonic summoning. As I got close, my blood began to boil and the rage within me grew. On the ground spied an amulet of Bloodstone used to assist in demonic summoning. The one I found was depleted, however. I'll need another one to examine, but I dare not return to that manor. Can you bring me some?
Later.
Alright, so maybe we'll be able to do that. That was good. Gave Gormul some, some drugs that, got him going again. Made him feel good. Gave him some confidence. Now he's back with the Horde. But that is the end of today's episode, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.